Ladies and gentlemen, I'm yours truly, the legend himself, Labzy, aka the best motherfucker you ever met in the history of your life, and I can prove it too, even though I shouldn't. The most loyal, the most honest, and the most respected. Man, man. Just we are now entering almost mid September, and not far away from my trip to Egypt, which I'm very, very excited about, and which I am going to be vlogging, by the way. So I want y'all to be very, just be ready for that, because it's going to be a lot. First time in 25 years. So, and also a lot of exciting things. I just did a thing today, and I'm not going to be revealing anything just yet, but it's going to be good. So, my next guest is a local rapper in the scene. He is a very unique artist. He's a very, very unique rapper. And he had the blessings to work with one of the most amazing producers ever. And we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about his journey, obviously, in music. And we're going to be talking about, obviously that. So I'll bring him in now. Hang on. I'll just try bringing him in. He's got to do the little request thingy. Hang on. And yeah, I mean, especially the amount of the positive feedback that I've been getting from other local artists as well has been absolutely positive. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you ACP, my
Well,
G. How you doing, brother?
um, pretty good. Just been chilling at home and relaxing on the Saturday. Um, yeah, just been relaxing today, and then yeah, usually on the week I was just full on week. How you been?
Yeah, good, brother. I'm on top of the moon right now. So just a lot of things happening. Busy, a lot of events, and it's all happening, but it's a good busy, you know what I mean? So, and I can never ask for anything less, to be honest with you. So it's all good. So, ACP, you got to take it back for me, bro. How did music, what motivated you to do music?
Music itself was always there in a way. I came from a family who was really like music orientated. My mom's brother was a DJ and a model. He passed away in '89. Um, but he left along legacies and stuff that my family catched on with, and my sisters have helped his legacy live on, and so have I.
Okay.
Um, it's mostly just the continuation. So I think I really gave it more of a thought when I was in high school and just doing a lot of classes, literature classes, and reading poetry and um, liking the craft. And there was also another class as well, theater class that also helped that as well. It's great to have those things involved at the time that I did. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be here as well. So yeah, it's a lot of time. It's taken a lot of effort. It's been a very long time to get where I'm at right now, but I'm fucking glad to be here right now. So yeah.
No, I love that, bro, and I love how other arts in especially like in high school and stuff like that can really help you really start to really plant the seed of to really you get to get that opportunity to really just explore your creative mind and really see how far it really goes. And no, that's
Yeah.
good, man. So tell me about so for you stepping into the music scene, right?
Mhm.
You what made you give it a shot? Like what gave you that courage to really be like, you know what, I want to give this rap thing a go.
I think it was like more an open mic with a band at Laundry. I don't know what year this was. This probably could have been. I think it was definitely before 2016, 20 maybe 2013, maybe even earlier than that. Um, I just took the stage that night and used the mic and stuff, and people were circulating the stage a little bit and paying attention to me. But also, I felt it, a lot.
Mm.
Um, just being on stage with that band as well. Um, definitely, helped me realize that I might have something here. Um, but if I would fast forward a little bit more, it's probably around 2018, 2017. It was like there was a thing in Point Cook actually, called Music Valley, and my dad got into the hospital at that time. I was working up the road here at a volunteer op shop, and that even pushed me even more as well because he believed in me as well when he came by to my house and he said to me, I showed him a little bit of the stuff I was working on. Well, it was nowhere near the caliber that I am now, but I still had a lot of ideas that I expressed to him. He wasn't always in my life, and then he showed up, and then he heard one of my names for one of my album ideas, and he was like, "You got something here?" And I'm like, "Dad, I don't even know how to put stuff on Spotify or all that kind of stuff." Like, it seems like a very like long road if I ever try that. But yeah, him him also saying to me, just don't give up on it. You sound like you got something for it. And then yeah, once he I think it was just before he went into the hospital, I went to Music Valley up in Point Cook, which helped me a little bit aboard my songwriting and performance base and do a lot of things there with a lot of artists and collaboration and work with groups and learn things about that. And I really enjoyed that, even though it was a hell of a distance with public transport and taking replacement buses and long nights. And it really did open that center in me. And then when he started going into the hospital, well, yeah, I kind of took that even more seriously. The death of Prince as well, which was my favorite artist as well. I took a lot of things seriously after these things. Um, Once I knew I could songwrite to that kind of level where it was more, trying to motivate and be positive and keep a positivity rather than just talk about shit on music. I think that's when I also knew this is something. So yeah, it was definitely tough years. Um, but yeah, thank God that music stuff was there to keep me occupied through a lot of troubles.
Yeah. No, I like that, man. I like how like you don't allow little things to stop you to be like, you know what, I want to do this music thing. I really want to do it. Just as you said, like long nights and a lot of traveling and
Mhm.
you had to do all of that to really just get yourself really your creativity out into the world, man. Like that's how you know it's a committed thing because not many people do that. They have that they feel like they want to do the lazy way out when it's like, nah, bro, if you have something, it's the
Yeah,
same. You have to travel far to get far in life.
100%. I thought cause I thought like I had to do this on my own. Like that was the mentality I had when I was starting. Like I thought I have to do all of this on my own, you know. And then yeah, Music Valley taught me that, and Beat and Daddy Nong taught me as well that you can't do this on your own. And then going and supporting certain artists and going out there, and just seeing so many differences in people and how driven they are. And a lot of artists also go through a hell of a struggle within themselves as well. Um, this is probably why they do it, or this is just either a coincidence or something. But um, yeah, doing it on my own was something that I had an idea for, but it wasn't in the long run something I could do on my own.
Yeah.
And support was something I don't think I ever saw coming either because I was a very like supportive person on my own terms. But I didn't think I would get that in the way that it is now for other people towards me. So it's very cool, man. And it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel yeah, and to me, and I reckon that's a beautiful thing, man, because it is very hard, and it is most of the time it is a lonely journey when you're on the creative route,
Hmm.
because a lot of people don't understand what you're doing, they don't understand like what your vision is, regardless of what they see potential that you have, it
Hmm.
they can't see the vision, right? And then they're just like, well. It's not that we don't. It's like we support you, but we don't support you because we don't know what this is, right? But
Hmm.
for you to have that support, and I reckon that's a beautiful thing, man. Do you feel that the support motivates you to go even harder, or do you feel like or do you have moments where you're like, no, I need to do this on my own because I need to discover, I need to go my own way? Like, because some people have
Yeah.
that. Some people, creators, have that. But what are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
I look at it. It doesn't matter if you support me or not. Well, look. It really that's inside spiritually. I think
Mm.
the energy and the love for this, right? Because I love what I do. I feel like I can do this no matter what. If the support's there, the support's there. That's how I saw it when I started, and that's how I'm continuing it. Um, but yeah, it's been a crazy few years. Um, maybe 3, 4 years in a row. It's been really just like wow.
Yeah.
Um, shocked me in many ways, and like there's so many kind-hearted people in this industry, and or even independent artists, and there's so many people that know so many good things. Shout out to Congo, shout out to Beza, shout out to Ritzy Ray, um, shout out to Versatile. Those kind of guys as well. They just have that kind of thing where I'm like, it's good to have those kind of energies around that they're themselves, but when they're an artist, they're totally different sometimes, and that's a kind of what I am as well. Like I'm like this, but then when I'm on a track or something, oh, people say I didn't see that coming. I'm like, yeah, good. Like that's the dog in me, So it's the music part of me that I'm glad that it's still there after all. Like Lil Wayne said, all this bullshit made me strong, motherfucker, and
Mhm.
that's exactly from everything that's gone on in my life, from operations and stuff. It's good that it still exists. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was worried about sometimes you getting writer's block or all that kind of stuff, and then it's just it hasn't touched because it's just I know that this is something I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean, as well, like but you would have those moments where, especially in your lyrics, when you're trying to find a bar or something, and then, I wouldn't say, it's not a writer's block, but just
Hmm.
when it comes to you need that kind of motivation from something else to put the pieces together. Like, has that ever happened to you in your
Yeah,
time?
yeah. There's been love. There's been struggle. There's been wanting to do it, the urge to do it, um, finding new ways to do it. Also motivates me. Um, studio sessions definitely from different experiences and like just for instance, like Congo and me, first time we went to the studio was like really over 5 years ago, and that was fun. Like I told him after that, then I just saw that and I was like, wow, it's like I needed it at this time as well because he doesn't know what I'm going through currently. But we had fun that day, and that ended up being sublime and on my album. And um, yeah, just it's definitely just it's the flow of things. The consistency also helps, but like I say before, sometimes I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm very proud of it too. So
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
there's a certain flow, but like the consistency, yeah, it's just crazy.
Okay. So tell me about like inspirations. So
Hmm.
what so who would your go-to artists be for inspiration or motivation?
Prince is definitely one on the list. Lil Wayne is kind of an embodiment where it's like fuck, like he's talking like different stuff to put into the genre that it's not many people have started even 40
Mm,
years before that. So
mm,
Wayne, Ti look at as well as someone I'm a very South Side person, but if I have to go to music and the actual like depth of what drives me, it's Prince, it's Funkadelic, it's George Clinton, it's Earth, Wind and Fire. Um, uh, some 80s, some 70s. Hip hop wise, yeah, it's Naughty by Nature, Twista, Busta Rhymes. Um,
Nice.
Tech Nine. Uh, there's so many other names, but those ones. Tupac Shakur, Bob Marley, um, Frick UB40. Like it's
Yeah.
there's so many things that it's like songwriting, but there's also depth. There's also stage presence. There's Michael Jackson, man. I can't believe I left him last. He should have been like first for me. Michael was definitely something I started to do when I was young, dancing and uh, expressing myself. Even times I didn't remember, my parents will remind me and say, "Oh, you did that." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I did it younger than I thought I did. You know.
Mm.
So yeah, Michael was definitely a heavily motivation for me. Um, but yeah, just the freedom of choice.
Mm.
Um, and just the time frame, I think, that I
Mm.
was fortunate to be in. Like I was fortunate to see Kanye before he went a little bit,
Yeah.
and to see like the good music part of good music group, and also MMG and Young Money, and to see those things come up, and then being born with the Friday soundtrack and um, Two Live Crew and Tupac, which wasn't really recommended for a young person like me, but like and yeah, it's just fortunate to be in the timeline that we are in. If we were a decade off, who knows where I would be.
Yeah.
So
No, it's actually interesting when you mentioned like Tupac and with how you weren't allowed to, listen to that at a young age. Because I remember that as well. Like because my sister and I, we love Tupac like growing up as well. And we weren't allowed to like listen to him because when they talks about violence and the swearing and obviously the N word as well. And, it
yeah.
was just a lot for them to think. But you know what? As we got older, we obviously went back to it, and then you realize like how Tupac's lyrics and his realism, his
Hmm.
storytelling is just unmatched. Basically,
Yeah. Yep.
to be
I
honest, it's just unmatched.
wouldn't be here without him. Like big time. It's just that he was taken out earlier or wasn't even existed. The rap game would be very different, like gangster rap, but a poetic side to it.
Mm.
With heart and soul with it. You're right, totally.
Yeah, man, it's insane. It's insane. So tell me about your first time on stage, right?
Oh, okay.
Now, when you get the opportunity to be on stage, they call your name, you know, tell me about that experience, the very first ACP performance that you've done in front of a crowd.
Well, do you want to talk about primary school performances or do you want to talk about ACP?
You know what? Let's do ACP.
Okay. Uh, like the laundry one was definitely something that I looked at as definitely something. There was one in Footscray as well called Kingston Bar, um, where I rocked the stage there as well. But I definitely had more energy than I thought I did that night.
Mm.
So that's what I've learned. I think that's what one of the main things I learned. I toned it down a little bit. Just try and try and look straight or try to look like you're not looking down. Like those things, definitely. Thank God I have that. Oh, the one at Nightcat was amazing as well. These kind of gigs were um starters, but I thought they wouldn't go any more than that. This is like 2014, 2016 stuff. So I thought like, oh, I could just, you know, do these things because I love doing it, but I felt like because I have a disability and stuff, I was um certainly I thought that I wouldn't touch a certain wall or
Mm.
break a barrier or do, because it's something that's defined, but nothing can define that. But that's why I live in this life in a way where it doesn't define me. And um, I've been living like that for a very long time now. But it's yeah. So the very first the very first performances were basically just me just can I perform on stage, or is it like do I only do do I only stick to making music? Like these are all questions, and it was good to answer those early. Um, yeah, so it kind of helped just understand a little bit of myself. That's why it's important for any performer to go out there to know what their niche is and what is a do and don't. So yeah.
Okay. Now you were talking about the disability that you have.
Mhm.
Now tell me about. Well, because just as you said, like, you don't allow that to really stop you from doing what you do right now, which is such a fantastic mentality and a courageous mentality. Because many people who, whether they have disabilities or they have some sort of other sicknesses as well, they use that as an excuse to be like, oh nah. But it just they just feel like it owns their disability or whatever it is that they're going through owns their life, when in reality that's not true at all. That's just it's just something that it's just there, but it doesn't really physically stop you from what to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So
Exactly.
I guess my question is to you is, does it get difficult sometimes, with the disability that you have and with clashes with music? Has it ever stopped you in any way, or has it ever doubted you in any way?
Well, that's a really good question. I don't think my the thing about it is that I wouldn't say it has. Uh, I think it's helped me during those times where I felt like, something is getting to me physically. But I don't think I've had a situation where I felt like my disability was holding me back, which is great. And that was a good, thank you for bringing that up. There are barriers. There are. I can't stand too long sometimes, or I have to sit down sometimes, and those kind of things. But everything has been flowing really nicely, even with live performances. Maybe I need something to sit down on, but it's not because I need to sit down because my legs. I need to sit down for this track. Feel like
Mm,
that vibe will match this chair or
mm.
something like that. So, um, no, it has. That's why I think that's why I can say that proudly that it hasn't defined me because it hasn't put a barrier up of why I can't do this further. If I feel like I can, you know.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic, bro. And that's where and the way you look, you said that in confidence as well is shows that, again, just as I was saying before, like you don't allow that to really define you and really stop you from achieving whatever it is you've achieved, which
Mhm.
is going now to the massive biggest question ever, because you made an announcement not long ago. I think you know where
Yeah,
this is going.
yeah,
Um, Talking about the legendary producer Scott Storch. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you gotta tell me about that, bro. Like how did that opportunity come into, like, you gotta tell me the story, man.
Well, to be here in this time line,
Mm,
it's crazy. Feels like um, it's yeah, 3 a.m. getting a message. Someone sending me my own reel. I woke up during the night and looked at it, but I didn't look at the name of the person that sent me it. I just thought like, oh, it's my brother Harris or something like that. I just
mm,
looked at someone sending me my own work though. It's kind of like, I was like, that was the first. Like when I saw sent, and then I saw my real name, because you know how it says sent by real, and then it says who made the reel. So I was
mm,
like questionable about that, but I put my phone down, went back to bed. Woke up, and then yeah, Scott Storch messaged after that again and said, "I like this. I really like this," and it's one of my freestyles that I have on my Instagram. And it was a video of me Congo. It's an old one actually. So I posted that like end of last year, middle of last year. I only posted it because I found it on my TikTok. Or yeah, it was on my TikTok, and I'm like, hey, it's not on my Instagram. It should be up there. And this is when me and Congo were like 2 years in, about a year into our relationship, brothers and music wise. But anyway, yeah. So I looked at my phone and I saw that message. Like, then I clicked the profile and I'm like, oh shit. Like I just sat there for a bit. I'm like, just sat there and just sat there. And then I messaged him a few times, and I thought like, oh, he probably is going to someone else, um, because I did sleep in, you know. And
Mm.
then yeah, she started messaging me, and I all I know is that we just started communicating, and then in my back of my mind was thinking like, hey, I could work with him, I could try this, could try and bring up something here, because he did bring it up. He said, let's work. But when we were communicating during the conversation, it was almost like I need to instigate it again. So I did, you know, I brought it up again, and he was like, yeah. And then he went to price range. I told him, look, I'm not super rich, you know. So I gave him a budget, and then he was like, I'll bless you with that. And I was like, fuck. I
Wow.
just, I just, yeah, that blew my head. So I was like, okay. And then he was like, then he started sending me some of his work um, within the 2 days or something. It was a hell of a week because
Mm.
we really did communicate for that full week.
Mm.
And I thought it was getting to the point where I don't know if this is real, but then he started sending his actual stuff, like what's working on. And I was listening to those videos, and I was like, oh fuck, like these you could tell that it's his kind of stuff because he's
Yeah, you
always,
can tell it's his technique.
yeah, like you could tell, like, yeah. So I was like, okay, but I wasn't feeling those tracks, kind of like I was, but I was like, hopefully he said something else. So once I did the payment, he sent it to me right that day, and then I heard the beat straight away, and I was like, oh, it's got a Pac vibe.
Mm.
And that's what I got straight away.
Mm.
And I was like really surprised it wasn't a bopper. So it was like a
Mm.
wasn't a club banger. It was a
Mm.
very like he heard my other stuff, kind of a thing. Um, because I went straight into it. I couldn't sit there for too long, so I just started writing and um then got out a booth in my room and then started doing recordings and sending him stuff, and he was like, I trust your talent. And he's
Mm.
like, now mixing and mastering is gonna cost an arm and a foot. So can you find someone to do it for you? And I'm like, yeah. So I contacted Ritz and I was like, give me some preferences here. I got people in mind.
Mm.
And he's like, oh, what about Riggs? And I'm like, why Riggs? And he's like, yeah, Riggs is actually a big Scott Storch fan. So I'm like, okay, I'll bless Riggs for it. So I gave him a shout out to Riggs. He's also really cool at what he does currently. You know, family man and stuff, working and stuff. You don't see him as much right now. He'll come back soon probably. But yeah, he did that. You know, he blessed me with that as well. Um, to get all that done, I think within that 24 hours was amazing. And
Mm.
I was at the pub here next to the house, and then just getting it sent back to me, and then rushing home just to listen to both versions and seeing which one's right, sending it to Scott, having a little bit of conversation, seeing which one is it. You know, that was cool. Then telling Riggs and him, picking this one. You know, I made the album cover and stuff, so it was a really cool just to tell him what I liked about his music as well,
Yeah.
and what I grew up with, you know, and um, like for him to know that I'm a fan, not just working with someone, you know,
Mm.
that someone, you know what I mean? You're working with someone that actually knows what you're doing. Like, um, that was yeah, just a very cool and freaking moment that I definitely will never forget. And it's been a very strange year when it comes to that, in a good way.
Yeah. So now that the track is done, now that you've got a celebrity basically a part of your catalog as well.
Mhm.
So who's next? So who's another big celebrity that you'd love to work with?
Uh, do you
I
want
know
me to
there's a
name?
list.
Yeah, there's a list. Uh, Look, Scott Storch is kind of like he's working everybody, you know. So it's kind of like I'm on that list now. But uh, whew, it's very hard these days. If we're going back a few years, it'll be way more easier because a lot of things that's changed in the industry.
Mm.
I want to work with Congo again. Like,
I spoke to him today actually.
yeah,
The man came back. He came back from Florida like a
yeah,
few
yeah.
days ago, and yeah, no, he's just chilling right now. So yeah, So nah, shout out to Mr. Congo, man. He's a real one.
Who says
Absolutely.
who says that we didn't work already just then? But
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything about that. But okay, if it has to go to a certain timeline, I would love to work with someone like a Busta Rhymes.
Mm.
I would love to work with someone like a Chris Brown. Uh, Lil Wayne would be a dream.
Mm-hmm.
To work with someone that it's like it was Wayne and it's like Eminem, Wayne, Park when I was growing up, Dre. You know,
Mm.
to
Yeah.
work with those people. Coolio would be awesome, but rest in peace.
Mm.
Um, Definitely something that hit me hard when he passed away.
Mm.
Um, Definitely an honorable mention to Coolio if he was still here. I would love to, that would have been something that was on my list as a private thing. Method Man, um, kind of stuff that just seems like it will fit my voice caliber. Timberland, even if he's doing that AI artist stuff right now,
Mm.
which I don't fully agree with, but given his legacy as well, I'd work with him again, only
Okay.
because I can always listen to his old stuff still. He hasn't fully tarnished his credibility in my books yet.
Yeah.
Um, there's a certain realm where it's Young Thug, like he's very melodic and he got good beat selections. Uh, Lil Baby and very south if I could go south, but
Mm.
if I have to go west, YG, like those kind of realms, I would definitely work with those kind of sounds. Like
Mm.
I told you, G Funk has been something that is ingrained in me. And anytime that beat kind of plays, either I freestyle or I write. So something west will be really cool. Ice Cube is a dream. Like those
Mm.
things probably would never like speaking out of my ass. I feel like, but it's a very it's something like what if it would help me working with them, but also make them understand that I fit in.
Yeah.
I got that kind of thing that helps me fit in. So, yeah, whatever, man. Like, even if it's like one of those underground artists that are trying to break in, but I listen to them and I'm like, oh shit, like, that's hella talented. I feel you. Let's
Mm.
work. That's what Congo does too. That's what me and Congo have been doing for a long time now. So, yeah, so yeah. But I love the support of the artists here. Honorable mentions to the artists in this Victoria who come support local crews and come to the gigs and helping people get gigs and shout out to Taylor and Donkey Man, and all these kind of people who are helping the community in underground and independent places where people need to break out and not about
Mm.
gatekeeping. It's about just
Yeah.
helping one another. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Mm.
basically yeah.
Okay. No, I love that, bro. And you know what, man? I mean, who knows what the future holds? I mean, because this is what I love about this is what I love about social media is that you don't know who you can actually reach out and connect with. And it's
Hmm.
something that's just absolutely insane. Like even for me, even in this journey doing my podcast and my show, right? Obviously the amount of connections that I've built in the US as well.
Yeah.
It's just like exactly what we're doing right now, just like this, right? And and then the amount of friendships that I've built, the amount of just people that I never thought that I would connect to very well, especially on a creative level, and it's absolutely amazing. And this is
Good.
why
Yeah.
like I try to encourage a lot of artists themselves, like do your part by joining other artists live. They're going to talk to other people, that way, because that way you get yourself out there, because that way you say, hey, I'm from Melbourne, Australia. Like, that's, if anything, that is your ticket right there. That is
Hmm.
your ticket because they love
Hmm.
Australia so much, right? And as much as we don't want to rely on our accent, but because, us being so different, us we're being built different, they'll get attracted to that because they're so used to the same shit over there. So,
100%.
and
Yeah.
that's why it's such a big, great opportunity is that in my opinion, look, if you want to enter competitions to get a beat from Timberland or Scott Storch or whatever, that's fine. But for me, though, I would rather build connections that are connected to these people.
Hmm.
So that way, so in your case, ACP, you would try to build connections that actually know Scott Storch personally. So
Hmm.
eventually, they're going to be like, then Scott Storch is it's going to pop up, and your face is going to be there, and then you're like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. I did a beat for this guy. Da, 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 let me reach out. Da da da. Next thing
Right,
you
right.
know, you're in the studio with him, with Scott Storch himself.
Yeah, dude, that's also an idea because I still got him in the DMs, so it's just a price range. Hopefully, I get to
Yeah,
be making that be guap, like guap guap, because I don't want to go back to him unless it's guap, like good, like I want to come back with like I could give you way more, but it'll be a lot put in, even more.
yeah.
So it's yes, that is definitely it's about building, it's about networking, it's about support, and a lot of artists that I've seen artists come into gigs only expect for a paycheck and leave, or do their performance, leave. You know what I
Mm,
mean? That's not my forte, and
mm.
I see that damn as disrespectful. Or I also see it as well, they got shit to do, but it really does depend on the person, right? But it's definitely it doesn't take your whole life to support someone or
No,
show
it
support.
doesn't. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And
it, yeah,
and that's what I mean. And then that's where the support comes from. And as you said, it really depends on the person. It's like, what are they doing it for? Are they doing it for the money? Are they doing it for the fame? Are they doing it for whatever reason that they have? Which is fine. But they got to understand the consequences that come with that too. There's
100%.
always a a cause and effect with every decision that we make. So, in other words, if we choose to support ACP in his thing, and we stay there to the end as best as we can, right? And we obviously we look at other artists that are performing in between or whatever, in between that, say, hey man, I love your performance, da 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 da, and then obviously you have your performance or whatever, and we've done a little bit of networking and a little bit of getting together and socializing together, and again, because you don't know what could happen out of that, and it's such a beautiful thing. So you're absolutely right. and
Yeah,
and again, but it does depend on the people, to be honest. It really depends on what are you doing it for. So, which does raise the
exactly.
question.
Exactly. That's a good. See, what are you doing it for? Some people might see it as manipulation. Some people like see it like, oh, you just want to connect. Some people like it. It really does divide. It could be a divide and like that. It could be either way. Someone could be hella paranoid, and someone is just like us, where we're just like, no, we're just opening up because that's who we are. We don't.
Mm,
We don't want anything. You don't have to give us anything. We're just here. That's
correct.
that. That's the understanding of it. If stuff gets involved after, it's because we let it happen. Like it.
Mm,
I like free flowing connections. I don't like putting something in front of someone's head, or like it's daunting. I've seen some artists that just come up to me and they first meet me and say we should work. Don't know you though. Like
mm,
that's another part of me that clicks in my head. But I need
mm,
like two things. It's like I haven't seen you perform live. I haven't seen your tracks yet either,
mm,
and I don't know who you are. So if I can
yeah.
knock out either one of them,
Mm,
and I like one of those three, then
mm,
it's fine. That's totally fine. But I just don't like people pushing and instigating something. And I say, like, if I don't, I'm not an ass. I don't like to be brutally honest. And say, look, I don't like your vibe. That's not what I say. I just don't do anything.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I just don't like to be disrespectful either. So
But in
like,
saying that, you still have to be honest, though. Like, you got to be true to yourself.
well, look, I do tell people, yes, be true to yourself. That's very true. That's one of my tracks as well. But it's. I have told people like, oh, I'm not taking the track vibe, or
Mm,
I'm not feeling that. Like, I just don't like saying that either. Like, I
yeah.
feel like I don't want to let these people down either. But it's a very if I don't, I'm not putting myself on the track where yeah, it's just I can be picky like that, but at the same time. It's proper like it's a build for me if they don't see it like that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. But I mean, but as I said, like, as long as you're true to yourself, there's nothing wrong with being honest and let them know, hey, I'm just not feeling it. I would, for me, I would say, don't get me wrong, it's good, but it just doesn't hit my ear like that. That's all. That's what I
Mm.
say. Because
Yeah,
that way, because if anyone that does music is like, well, if it hits their ear like that and it makes them jam and it's catchy to them, obviously their minds will respond to that. They'll respond to that in a positive way. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. That doesn't mean we don't like it. We don't mean we don't respect it because
right.
we know how much work you put into it. But it's just not for me. That's all. It just doesn't hit my ear like that. That's all. That's all it is.
There's also people that come into the studio and then you expect them to do a lot and they don't do anything. And
Mm,
that's like really like wow. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But thank God I only learned that early, like in my years, because it hasn't come up like often. These days I'm fortunate to like actually work with people who would take their stuff with pride and they work in a certain pace, you know, and they do it. They don't just like like I give you like give me a week, then they don't do anything in a week, you know. That's
Yeah.
that's also something to me that it's like I could feel something here. If you're not there, then you know what I mean. But I don't give it a total timetable. It's just that if I see it and you're not
Mm,
really helping this work, then yeah, it's also kind of daunting as well. So it's a cool thing to see and realize as well because you'll know some people work differently as well. But some people don't, you know, some people are doing it, they take it very seriously, you know, and
yeah. So
yeah.
okay, so would you say that you're very strict on who you work with? Like they have to be very passionate like yourself in order to work with you?
No, well, like I said, it has to do with their discography or what have they done, and um, if they can, if if we fit, if we mesh, you know what I mean. You'll probably see it before, like you're in the studio, but sometimes it's just a demo you need to hear both of y'all. You know, it's sometimes it's that, or sometimes it's random ones where it did work. But I have a few tracks where it was randos where people are like, "We have your vocals here, so we're putting it with this artist. Is that okay?" And then I didn't have a second to say yes, and they released the track. It turned out to be great, but
Mm,
it was definitely with an artist's tone that I'm not used to, which is a full Aussie one. So,
mm,
but I did realize that I can actually fit and work with something like that as well. It taught
mm,
me something, you know. Sometimes I'm not always right, and I'm proud to say that, you know.
yeah.
Sometimes there's things where I'm like, I don't think that mesh is right, but then eventually it proves me wrong, and I'm like, oh well, fuck, okay, he's fuck, okay, like okay, this is cool, like okay,
Okay.
this is shockingly surprising, and I like
Yeah.
that. You know, that's why I love music, bro. It's like there's shockers, there's surprises, and there's just something you already know. But
Mm,
um, definitely in for the surprises as well. That's why I love continuing it.
yeah, I love that. So tell me, let's go talking about the song that you did with Scott Shorts that he produced. It's called The Process, which
Yeah.
got 2,456 listeners from that song. So tell me about that song. What is that about?
Okay, so it's about yeah. So it's like I actually basically say it in the song. There's a process you got to do. Um, you better shine and win. Get in and do what you have to do, kind of a thing, you know. And then it's also like you can't define me. So I'm,
Mhm.
I'm putting that in my own retrospective, but people can sing that to themselves and say, "You can't define me." You know what I mean? So it's also you can sing that to yourself and say, "People can't define what I am."
Yeah.
It's basically lyrics that you can say to yourself as well. People can think that I'm saying it by myself, fine, but if you sing along, you're actually saying it with yourself as well. So it's like a sing along motivational track that was very put in with a pocket essence mixed with myself, of course. A little bit of Wayne in there that I see as well. People have pointed out to me, so thank you for those people. Yeah, it's basically just a self motivation track that I do. Like my other ones, like Be Somebody, and there's ones like that where it's just yeah, it was really cool for him to send that. Well, like I'm still like kind of shocked that he did send something like that to me, which was more like a melodic, but also like positivity kind of energy towards it. Like I thought it was gonna be like kind of like those kind of synths, like I said above. But yeah, it became so much like more than I thought it was. So, like I say, like I always like to say, keep your expectations low sometimes.
Mm. Okay. No, I like that, and I like how it's also like a therapy kind of song as well, because again, you'd all part of therapy is that you'd want to say to yourself that, I am worthy, I am enough, and these types of things, and I like how you put that in a song where it kind of creates an amazing habit of therapy where you can, again, just as you said, you can say it to yourself in the song, and then
Mhm.
later on it's going to now stick in your mind, even though when you don't even mean to say it or mean to think it. But
Mhm.
yeah, so I really like that, how it's very powerful, man. So no, well done for that one, bro.
Thanks, man. It's definitely, yeah. Like I said, it, I couldn't sit there for too long. I was kept looking at it and playing it, and I was like, "Fuck, I need to write now." Otherwise, I'll be like, "Oh my God, it's got storch me," and then not
Yeah,
do anything for days. And I'm like, "I need to do
yeah.
this now. Let's get the cracking." Like I have to do this now. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. So I'm glad that I'm still doing this from those kind of moments. I'm currently in the Grid Series 2025 Southeast Edition. Um, which came right after that. Got on the Age newspaper. I just went into the studio on Brunswick, and we're working on something at the moment, which is something that I could say is something to look forward to. Wow, what a week already. Versatile stopped by the area as well because he's my hype man,
Hmm.
and so from out of a lot of people that signed up for it, and there was a lot of them, and then we went to the second round, and then the third round was acceptance. And I don't think I've ever been accepted to something like this before for something for my craft. You know, I even auditioned for the Voice one time, and I did get to the second round. But this one is definitely more to me because it's definitely based on myself. Like they
Mm.
had to look at me and look at what I've done. Wow, the Voice is just do an audition and then show up. They don't know who you are. So this is
Yeah,
more like an acceptance for your craft and who you are as an artist. So
yeah.
I don't think I ever had that before for anything when it comes to acceptance. So this is very a good time for me. From last year, from a very sad time when my brother injustifiably passed away to me having pneumonia as well last year and then taking care of my grandma and then working as well during that time to this year working with Scott Storch and currently doing this thing called the Grid Series. Um, wow, what a difference and a timeline that yeah, it's definitely taught me that because last year I felt like the beginning of this year was going to be very slow. It was, and then I got very positive about my energies, and then it came in. So I stayed positive even though I felt like it was going to be a meh year, you know? That's how I walked into this year, and wow, really did shock me with everything that's been happening still, the opportunities, and still continues. And it's given me really more reassurance that this is definitely something that I need to continue doing. Even at this age, I'm older than some, but I'm fortunate to still do this. So yeah.
No, I love that, man. So here's a big question. Do you believe that faith plays a role in your line of music and also just in your life
Oh.
in general? Just as you said, last year was a bit hard, started off a little bit slow this year, and then now all of a sudden it's 13th of September with a blink of
Mhm.
an eye. Would you say that faith has played a role in things changing and shifting into a positive sense?
Yes, I fully believe that if you do stick to something that is meant for you, it will be positive soon. Um, there's a lot. I think I was thinking about this on the train. I don't know how you brought that up. I think it's that you have to have certain budgets as well. Can't just walk into this with like thinking like, oh, I could just do this. You have to have some other things than just your talent. You have to have an outlet. You have to have just a bunch of things. And for it to come to an actual way that it has to be, what's the word? It has to go naturally. It has to flow nice. It has to go, you know? it's people, God don't like ugly kind of quote. That's what my family used to say. Never really understood that. I was like, what does that mean though? Then I realized, yeah, it's about positive and negative energies. It's like staying positive and remaining positive and thinking that you can actually do this and believing in yourself. Those things are really important as well. So,
No, I like that, man. No, I like that. Now, talk to me. We'll move aside music for a little bit. I want to talk about the mental health side of things.
beautiful.
What does ACP do to center himself that involves mental health in order to mentally recharge?
Okay, some days I like to get the fuck out of the house. Be on my own though. You know, just if it gets too much. Sometimes I like to come home, have a glass of wine, and play some jazz records, play some blues. That's one thing with work gets to be too much. With the festival job that I do have, but thank God it's slowed down this year compared to last year. That's also something that's just working to my advantage as well. But yeah, it's just going to beautiful places, nature, um, meditation, just being silent, just wanting silence is something that I don't usually get, and sometimes I don't really know that I need. And sometimes I just sit back and I pause something, and then I'm on my phone for a second, and I realize I actually needed that for a second. Then I put my phone down, and I'm like, okay. Then half an hour later goes by, I'm like, I really needed that time off just then. So, um, yeah, I like to go to greenery and just or waves, hearing the waves really does help the chakras, and it's really at this time where to feel centered is the best thing to help. And then, go through whatever life kicks back at me, which is this job and every other thing that comes in.
Okay. No, I like that. No, because it is very important because just as you said, so sometimes life can be too much. Sometimes life can be just noisy, just like you just want to get away from it for a little while. Whether it's, man, it's just everything's too noisy and you want to, and nature plays a big role in especially centering yourself because I do it myself. I go for walks and stuff like that and
Mhm.
just to sort of, just hear the trees, hear the birds, just really just and it's amazing how the power of nature can really just calm you down. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's just it's insane, man.
like
It's insane.
my balcony as well. I'm fortunate to have just a lot of green outside and trees and stuff. So
That's
thank God
mad.
they've got a reserve next door and those kind of things, where I can just go and just be within something and then come back to reality. That's definitely needed for if anybody's
Mm.
going through something. Some people have a different niche though. People like to be with someone else or do it. You know what I mean? Like do it in a but it's being in oneself for a bit is very vital to me, and I think everybody else has their own different way. But that's mine. So definitely.
Have you created a balance? Like, have you created like a routine for yourself where, okay, got to get to work, and then now the next I'm going to be in the studio,
Uh,
and then when
ev- yeah,
have you created that thing where you found that day where it's like, okay, I got this day, all the music's done, like all
yeah.
some of it can wait. I got to be on my own. Go away.
And that's why I got a calendar, dude. And
Yeah.
I think I started it like last year or something. And then every time I go back to 1 month, I just see how much this happened, and I'm like, Jesus.
Hmm.
It's like it's
Yeah.
one week is this, and another week I'm like, yeah, but it started as nothing. So
Yeah.
it's very crazy to see how much is not just continuing in the music life, in life itself. And
Mm.
I'm very proud of working where I'm at. Shout out to Nawal as well, who won Indian Idol in 2003, who is my boss.
Oh,
And
nice.
very positive energy to work around with. But when it's break time, I mean, like when it goes into the rough times, everybody's going through pressure, and it could be tough. But it's good to have something there. He goes into a tough state. I go to a tough state. Everybody goes through a tough state when they're going through something at a job where it's grind time. But to have those people later. or before that. It's really cool to just even influencers, dude. Like you say, uh, even people like Congo's a hell of an essence to be around. Of kind of mellows me out. Or
Yeah.
Ritzy Ray, such a happy energy, or Versatile, such a motivator. He knows he's a father. He knows things and knowledge to his. And it's good to have people as well to help you if you got a problem and know that if you need help, there's people around. Um, which I don't think I was accustomed of having. Not even 7, 8 years ago, I was very limited to my friends and my circles, and so it's very fortunate to be in this place because I'm definitely not the same person I was a year ago, either even a year ago. But it's a very cool time, and it's a wind of. I like to call it the winds of change in a way, because
Mm.
I feel like it just feels better because maybe it's been so tough, but it's just it just feels better. Like when I went to Brunswick this week, when I got off the train, I just felt happy, and I was like,
Mm.
"Whoa!" Like that was fucking weird, and it
Mm.
stayed with me. It stayed with me, right? Even when I saw
Yeah.
Visible, I told him, and he's like, "Yeah, when I came up here too, I kind of felt that too." And he brought it up. It's like, yeah, because there's a lot of musos here, a lot of people who are here, to either go to the studio or create something. They're creators here, and I'm like, true. People want to go there, and that's
Yeah.
why I love Brunswick. I love the hell out of it. Like I told him maybe his past gigs as well. There's all mixtures and thoughts and vibes. Even that place to go there when I'm feeling not great. I don't have to go straight to nature. I could just go to like Johnston or something. Just go around those areas. Um, hear some good music. Go to a bar. You know.
No,
So
I love that. Yeah, I love that, bro. And it's amazing how you found other avenues just in case if, you can't go anywhere in nature, you can go somewhere
mm,
else. Or you've created other options in
yeah,
order to go places where you can mentally center yourself. No, I
hmm,
love that, bro.
thanks a lot.
Now,
Thanks
yeah,
a lot.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we are going to wrap this up because unfortunately Instagram has made a cap again on freaking lives. So, last question, ACP, before we wrap this up. What's next? What is next for ACP?
the Grid series. Um, a track that's dropping from the Grid series. Uh, something that's either going to be dropped in hopefully in the end of October.
Hmm.
Um, if you want to follow me at ACP.91. Um, yeah, and check out my link tree, sorry, and go through all of my work is on there. It's in the link in my bio. If you want to stay all things ACP, it's in my link tree. And yeah, it's good to see that it is a continuation. Like the last interview I had with DJ Run Run was like, oh, it's very positive. I believe there's something gonna happen, because I just went to Scott, and then now with the grid and I know what's going on. Yeah, there is things to look forward to. So thank God for that,
Yeah, beautiful, bro. Well, I do want to say thank you so much, ACP, for taking the time to be speaking to me. Did you have fun?
dude. You're so good at what you do, and it's
Thank you,
good to
bro.
because I've seen you on Wisdom Wednesdays and stuff, and the vibe's always set. But it's good to actually be on the other side and actually hear, like, see what you got. Because I was thinking, like, I had some questions just in case, but you're really good at what you do, bro. So I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. And I will say this just before this thing cuts out. I define success in my own way. I define a successful person is where you're doing what you love doing, you getting results, whether it's minor or major. You don't give
Mm.
up. You don't allow anything to stop you. And to me, that's a successful person. So you are a successful person, ACP.
Jesus Christ, thank you so much, and you are too, my sir. And you're exactly what that is as well. Hope you say that to yourself as well, man. Fuck. Now, have a great trip in Egypt and have some good time off.
Oh man, I got Donkey Man as my guest after this, and then I'm gonna
Yeah,
vlog everything.
fuck
Everything. I'm vlogging everything.
yeah.
All right. So yeah, I want to say thank you so much for the people that have joined in. Please go support ACP with his music. Go look at the song the process that has been produced by Scott Storch. There's also Live Your Way. There's also Be Somebody production and also Run Amok. That
Wow.
is all on his Spotify now. So please go check that out. ACP, you enjoy the rest of your weekend, sir, and I'll definitely see you around, bro. I'll
Yeah, look,
definitely
look,
see you
yeah,
around.
I'm gonna see you. Look, I don't know if it's gonna be shocking because I mean, we'll definitely link up.
Absolutely, bro. All right. See you guys. Thank you, ACP.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
See
sir.
you guys.